You are listening to Unsolicited Genius.
Welcome back. So what in the sports is going on? And hot topic in my book is Travis Hunter, the nation's #1, maybe #2, depending on what you read, prospect, passing on Florida State University, boo FSU, but passing on FSU to join prime time at Jackson State. Are we seeing a change in the tide of our athletes going to HBCUs, or is this just going to be one and done? We start with you, Gyasi.
Man, so I think this is something that needs not only to be studied, but put in a crucible and really make sure that we magnify so that we can see how this sort of transpired. So think about it, y'all. Prime goes to Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
He commits to Jackson State. Son is there, all this other stuff. He's doing all these things, right? Has a good season, although they lost just yesterday. Has a good season. Yeah, has a good season. In the midst of his, exactly, they did. In the midst of his own personal issues, his own health issues and everything else. This dude, let's see, and I'm a finance guy, so I can't get away from it. He has brought more economic impact into Jackson, Mississippi than ever before. In the last 20 years, he's brought roughly about the actual economic impact of Jackson, Mississippi has increased by 20%. I read that in a Memphis journal, the Memphis Constitution Journal, whatever. So that is one thing. The other thing, though, is that he is taking, all the Aflac commercials, and he's with your boy from Alabama and everything else with Nick Saban. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on here that we need to, again, study and make sure that we magnify. So the fact that we're in this very tender time, again, if we're not studying this and actually proliferating and use it as a platform, then shame on us, because we're right smack dab in the middle of name, image, and likeness categories. So the fact that Travis has an opportunity not only to go to Jackson State and really be coached by Prime, who is now just got 1 year under his belt. If Mo, correct me if I'm wrong, but he didn't coach before. So the fact that he is now coaching, doing well at an HBCU, recruited from his own alma mater, FSU. That's important. Stole a player from his own alma mater and got him to Jackson State. I think we are certainly seeing a change of the guard. That also be said, and I'll shut up here and let Mo chime in. That also being said, though, I do think Prime is going to leave. And I do think
you do. Okay.
And I do think, and I support HBCU sweatshirt. I think Prime is going to leave, and I do think, and we can talk about this. I do think he should leave, because this is what we are doing. We are taking what we are given. We are taking aspects and opportunities, and we're taking those same models. As long as he doesn't lose this formula, he should go to a D1 school that is, the top notch, whatever you want to call it, in the SEC or wherever he's going to get the most
Florida State,
and actually go to his alma mater, do whatever he needs to do to take that, and then let's go to the NFL, because the NFL, we talked about healthcare and everything else. The NFL is $1 billion industry, and it too has some issues. It too is rooted in the American society. It too is racist and as all get out. So we need more people like Prime to get into those racist institutions so that we can transform them.
Yeah, he was a high school coach before he took the Jackson State job.
Okay.
So, kudos to him, man. Like, I love what he's doing. But to G's point, like, I don't think he's staying either, because someone's going to scoop him up, and who knows what his ambitions are. I also don't feel like he owes anybody anything, and he should stay there if he has an opportunity that he wants to take. He's a man first, and then he's a Black man, and then you do what you do for your happiness, which is fine. I don't think Travis Hunter goes to Jackson State without the NIL though. Now that they can get paid off their name, image, and likeness, I don't believe that ever happens without that. I think that's a critical thing. You know, like he said, Prime has increased Jackson, Mississippi's financial situation by 20%. That's not happening at the other HBCUs. That's just because Deion Sanders is there. He's upgraded the facilities. He's got his sponsors pumping money into the school. This is football, fellas. Like, you can get drafted from any school. If you have the talent, they're going to find you. You're going to be in the NFL. I mean, Jerry Rice is the greatest receiver of all time. He played for Mississippi Valley State. Walter Payton played for Jackson State. They will find you if you have the talent. So Travis Hunter looks at Prime and is like, this guy could get me paid. I could be doing Aflac commercials. I could be an Under Armour kid. I could be doing all of these things. And that's where I think, like, you look at it from that standpoint and it makes sense. I get why he would go over there. The one thing I will say about the HBCUs is, you know, I'm all for it. Like, I truly am. They have to do right by our kids. The people running the HBCUs have to do right by these all the students, not just the students. Like, look what happened in Howard, where kids had to protest by sleeping in tents for 30 days because they got them in dorm rooms that are infested with rats and rodents. It's like, we can't ask our kids to support HBCUs, but then give them substandard treatment. They deserve the world, in my opinion.
Agreed.
They deserve the best of life in every aspect. And that should be their expectation. Why should they settle for less because they're Black and they decide to go to a Black institution and that Black institution is not keeping their end of the bargain? You know, are they underfunded? Absolutely. But is there any excuse for having rats in the dorm? That's just a matter of cleanliness. You know, these are the things, like, if we want to see more Travis Hunters, we need to see more people. Like, Eddie George has been hired to a historically Black college, but he doesn't have Deion Sanders. Like, Deion Sanders has an aura about him. Like, when you see him speak, you feel a certain way. You either absolutely love him or you're like, I can't wait for this guy to shut up. But you feel a certain way, and that moves the needle. And when you are able to move the needle like he is, you are able to create dollars. And he has been able to create dollars for their football program. And he's taken those dollars and invested it into the program. And that's why you're seeing them have tremendous success. That's not a formula that's applying to all the other schools that are HBCUs, though. They're not making the money that Prime is generating. You know, he's a master brander, Carlton. Did y'all see him on the sideline? The back of his shirt has his Instagram handle. Like, this is a marketing genius.
No, I didn't see that.
See what I'm saying? He understands how, like, you got to go all the way back to me when Deion Sanders was coming out in the NFL. They weren't paying corners.
Right.
But Deion made it so they would pay corners. He became like this larger than life persona, and he started getting cornerbacks paid. He understands how to make money. And I know he showed Travis Hunter, hey, I can make you money while you're in college. Instead of you going to FSU and hoping for $10,000 from a car dealership, what if I could help you become a millionaire before you ever set foot on the NFL field?
So what I hear you both saying is that Deion should go get his, period, point blank. That this move by Travis Hunter isn't necessarily a definitive shift in great Black athletes going to HBCUs, but done right, handled right, some of Deion's formula getting rewritten and reapplied create some possibilities. Is that fair?
Yes, I think if you wanted to see a complete shift, for example, you would need to see HBCUs in, like, more schools become successful in this manner and then start moving to the D1 level. That would be sustainable, in my opinion. You know, if they can become D1 collegiate football schools, that would allow them to be sustainable and to make money a la Michigan, a la Florida, a la Florida State, because they do have a lot to offer. And the football programs can help fund other aspects of the school. They just need to be well run, man. Like, we need people in those positions that are running the schools properly, that are in it for the right things, not their own self-interest, but the betterment of our kids.
To Mo's point, Carlton, it's not necessarily a sea change or a complete shift, a caustic shift. I think we will see a shift when and if HBCUs start to invest in their students, their student body, their infrastructure, et cetera. To Mo's point, I can tell you, I had roaches in my dorm room at an HBCU, and they told me that builds character. I don't think that builds character.
That shit don't build character.
No, it just makes you like scared and like don't study. So,
oh no.
so a lot of things. So a lot of things I think needs to happen just in terms of that. But then coupled with that, and I'm glad, Mo, you said that Eddie George at TSU now, I think that was sort of a copycat. But what they probably are learning, and I can't speak for TSU, but what they're probably learning from JSU is that they have an opportunity to invest not only in the infrastructure, but then also proliferate that higher a little bit more. Because Eddie George was dope in his day. Although he went to Ohio State, which I hate, he was a great running back. He was a great running back. So I think there's tremendous opportunity to say, okay, if we're taking these former athletes, giving them an opportunity, and then saying that, okay, that's the other thing. We got to have some success and have a well-run, well-established program as we're hiring them. I think that'll go a long way. The last thing that I'll say, and I'll be brief, you'll appreciate this, Carlton. I have heard that people sort of liken the hire of Prime, of Deion Sanders, to Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow gets all the breaks, blah, blah, blah.
You know me.
The whole Gator, all this other stuff. That's fine and good, but we know Tim Tebow is the epitome of white privilege. We know that Prime actually deserved, to Mo's point, deserved an opportunity, because not only does he know football and at least know defense from a cornerback perspective, but he also is a great marketeer. He knows what sells. So that being the case, he has already put Jackson State on the map, at least for the next decade, even if he leaves, and I should say when he leaves. So I think there's a tremendous opportunity in that, and you've got to make sure that you study that, and for the HBCUs to make the right hire, if in fact they're going to sort of mimic these opportunities.
All right. Well, I'll take that feedback and recognizing, G, that you are HBCU undergrad, Morehouse. I was hesitant to say the name because you talked about the roaches.
Because I already caught it on.
It's all family. It happened. But
they got AC in the dorms now.
Oh, they fixed it. Okay, it's back then. It's back then. So,
right.
But you also did grad school at Michigan, so you've experienced both worlds. Mo and I, Joe, we all are Gators through and through. Went to FAMU homecoming a lot, but I just wanted to point that out to our listeners because you've experienced that student life, so to speak, and then I know you do, as alum, do a lot of work for both organizations, but you see it from both sides. So with that, congratulations, man. Y'all in the playoffs.
There it is.
How you feeling? What you think gonna happen?
I do think we have a decent shot. We being Michigan, for your listeners, Michigan plays the number 3 seed. We're the number 2 seed. They play the number 3 seed in Georgia. I think Georgia has an amazing defense. I think we have a decent offense, particularly our running game. So I think it's going to be a juxtaposition of those two things. That also being said, I think and I'm going to speak into existence, when we win and beat Georgia, I think we've got a very formidable foe, because I think just Alabama is just going to knock the socks off of Cincinnati. It might be a little bit close in the first half, but I think in the second half they'll pull away. So the national championship, in my mind, I'm predicting to be Alabama and Michigan. We'll see how the chips fall.
All right. All right. Well, rest assured that these Gator boys, though loyal to the SEC, are cheering for your school.
See, I'm not loyal to the SEC. I'm loyal to the University of Florida. I'm definitely going for Michigan. I think Michigan has a good shot against Georgia, man. I don't trust Georgia's quarterback. So that to me gives Michigan a good shot. I agree with him completely. I mean, Alabama is about to steamroll Cincinnati. I'm happy Cincinnati's there. I am. I just feel they're deserving of this shot. But they are about to get steamrolled by the Crimson Tide. And I'm not sure if anybody could beat Alabama. Like, we hope Alabama loses, but Saban time and time again shows us that he's that guy, and he just has something for everybody. Commercial. Like, he has something for everybody.
Right. He got the Affleck commercial, and what he don't have, Affleck got his back, because that's their secondary insurance. So all bases are covered. All bases are covered.
You know, Saban to me is just a study in how to sustain excellence, because he's literally figured out how to be like, last year is nothing. Even if they went undefeated and when last year is nothing. What have we done this year? What have we done this week? What have we done this Saturday? And his players have that mindset. They go. I feel like when Alabama goes on that field, they play like this is their last game ever. Like, it's the last time.
That's what it looks like.
The uniform.
That's what it looks like.
And he's got them geared up like that, and he coaches like this might be it for me. They are hungrier than the teams they play against, in my opinion, and that is they have great players, but they are intrinsically motivated to go out there and demolish you and to be as perfect as possible, and he's got them in that mindset. It's phenomenal to see their sustained level of excellence.
Agreed.
Unsolicited genius.